Good evening, everyone. It is Christine here, and I thought I would pop on. I've been busy cleaning my craft room today, and I've been sorting the piles and piles of fabrics that I had from working on the mood boards for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, and also putting together the wall panels or the wall hanging pieces that I will be using to put together my Roxy Journal of Stitchery down the garden path. So I just have I had piles and piles of fabric. I still have a few piles to go through, but I've been busy sorting them as I go into a lovely little storage solution that I wanted to share with you. And I love this storage solution because it's practical, it's ordered, but it also repurposes two items that would otherwise be going into the recycling stream, not scheme, the recycling stream. But it's much better if you can repurpose and reuse an item and not even have to put it into recycling. Then it's not going to take the energy that it needs for recycling. So let me pop this open. So it's a little plastic tub. You've probably seen them. You've probably got things that come into your house in them. In our case, we get these plastic tubs delivered as part of our farm box delivery each week. That's how we get our fresh vegetables and fruits. And so things like mandarins, spinach, other things come packaged in these. So I have entire piles of these plastic tubs. I do also use them for my seedlings. When I'm planting out little seeds and to grow into seedlings, they're great because they're actually like a little greenhouse for the seedlings. But I don't need that many for my seedlings, and I've decided that I've found another use that I just absolutely love, and it's to store fabric, smaller sections of fabric that I can easily then see. I can group them by colour theme. They're all regularly folded, and I can easily look at them from all directions, including from the bottom. But they're also protected from dust, but they can breathe, because I have read that you shouldn't be totally suffocating. That's probably not the right term, but that you shouldn't be totally sealing your fabrics in. Previously, I had been popping things into Ziploc bags, but I love this solution because it's got some breathability. So if I put this then in a drawer or in another tub, it does actually have some airflow around it. I haven't read anything to say that the plastics will break down and damage the fabrics. I guess I can just keep an eye on the fabrics and if I see any sort of residue. But I figure seeing these are safe enough to put food in, hopefully they'd be safe enough to have fabric in. So the additional component of reuse that I'm combining in this is using some old promotional postcards. Now, these were postcards from when I used to teach cooking classes, and they were used to promote the classes. Now, I've stopped teaching cooking classes for a good number of years now, but I still had 2 boxes of these postcards sitting in the cupboard. And when I was cleaning it out the other day, I thought, I really don't want to throw them out. I could use them for card making, but then I had the idea to actually use them as the base around which to fold my small sections of fabric and store them. And then that idea came together with the plastic tubs, and it turns out that the plastic tubs are just the perfect size for a piece of fabric folded around a postcard. So there's a postcard sitting inside this with the fabric folded around, and it just is the absolute perfect size to fit in here. All I have to do is just as I close the lid, just push that back, and then it holds them just absolutely snugly, but without crinkling them at all. So let me just show you how I go about ironing the fabric. Now, you don't have to use an iron. I just find you then get that nice sort of smooth sitting. So I'll just move this up a smidge. So usually I'll find an edge that I think is straight. So usually like one of the torn edges. I get rid of any little, I don't get rid of them. I generally keep my little threads and use them in subsequent projects. And then I'll fold it over. I'll give it a little, now I'm holding it up and giving it a little shake. I'll then make sure it's laying. If you've got lines like this, you can make sure it's laying straight by looking at the line in the fabric. But usually that little shake works pretty well. And then I'll just fold it over, and then if I get a little tail in like that, I'll just fold it equally under, and then I just get my iron and just give it a quick little press, which I find then just actually gets it all to sit nice and flat. I'm probably getting to capacity in this one, but we would be able to then just poke that in. I'll put it down the end with some of the darker fabrics. I've even got one of my polyester fabrics in here, which they can be a bit floaty and normally to store. And then like that, and it's all in. All very easy to see the designs. You could put a little label on the top, but in this case I can really easily see that is a bunch of blues. And yeah, just a great way to make use of your plastic tubs. So if you get them, save them up. I'm sure you might have like past promotional postcards, or you might have something else that's like an insert. It's really just getting something that's of a size for whatever you're going to store them in. If you had a drawer of a certain size, well, then you could actually use card of it. We get so much cardboard coming into our lives that you could even cut them. I just love that these are all pre-cut. I've tested and ironed and let this sit with fabric, and there's been no transference or no degradation of the fabric, so I'm pretty comfortable that there won't be any issues from having the fabric wrapped around the card. So that's just a fun little tip, and one that hopefully helps you with your storage solutions. And it's great because it is also repurposing and reusing a product. So I hope you've had a great weekend. We're getting ready to head off on holidays, which will be very exciting. I've got my stitching projects packed, and tonight I will be continuing to work on ironing and folding up and packing away my piles of fabric. But if I'm surrounded by fabric, I'm usually pretty happy. So take care, everyone, and I will speak to you soon.